يكن ما ظللت فيه أو بت فيه من هذه العافية بين يدي بلاء لا ينقطع ووزر لا يرتفع فقدم لي ما أخرت أخر عني ما قدمت أما بعد فأوصيكم عباد الله ونفسي بتقوى الله ونظم أمركم أما بعد فقد قال علي عليه الصلاة والسلام فالمتقون فيها هم أهل الفضائل فقال نزلت أنفسهم منهم في البلاء كالتي نزلت في الرخاء صلوا على محمد وآل محمد. Respected scholars, my elders, dear brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. In the beginning of my khutbah, I would like to advise and suggest myself and also advise you to be mindful of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and to become a muttaqi, to have a greater life. And in order to become a muttaqi, we've been discussing the khutbah, the sermon of Imam Ali bin Abi Talib alayhi salatu wassalam, where he is explaining what are the attributes and practical qualities of the muttaqi, the pious people. And this is a guideline through which we can make ourselves, evaluate ourselves, assess our lives, whether we are a muttaqi person, and if we are not, we can become one. So we went through a number of qualities and attributes over here. The first quality, just to recall whatever discussion we had, the first quality was mantiquhumus sawab. They were telling the truth. Number two was malbasuhumul iqtisad. Their lifestyle was very moderate. Number three, وَمَشْيُهُمْ التَّوَاضُعُ. They had tawadu'. They were modest people. Number four, غَضُّوا أَبْصَارَهُمْ عَمَّا حَرَّمَ اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِمْ. They were lowering their gaze from whatever things that are haram onto them. Then the fifth one was وَوَقَفُوا أَسْمَاعَهُمْ عَلَى الْعِلْمِ النَّافِعِ لَهُمْ. The fifth one was they were only listening to the things which are beneficial for them. And this was a discussion of last khutbah, where we analyzed the halal and haram musics. Basically, we can't play music over here. That's why the discussion was a theoretical discussion. In order to make the discussion a practical discussion, inshallah, tonight we are going to have a gathering, the same gatherings which we used to have with youth. So tonight the gathering is being hosted by the group of 35 and plus. So there, one of the discussions, inshallah, will be related to the practical examples of halal and how to implement the criteria of halal and haram music. And the taghanni that we have, ghina and music, all of it. Since I'm mentioning this, so definitely the time, we've passed the deadline. Now nobody can be added to the gathering, but maybe Hasnan Bhai will allow to participate as a free participants in this gathering. So still you have time, because the other discussion that I'm going to have today is about mental disorder, which is ADHD. which is happening in elders, in young people, more especially for the kids between 7 to 17 years old. So this is a common problem, and I was going through the stats of Kenya. I become to know that 45% of our kids in Kenya are facing this problem of ADHD, which is a mental disorder. And I've seen examples of ADHD over here in this khutbah, where the kids are talking to themselves. I'm giving them the khutbah, I'm talking over here, but some of the people are talking literally to themselves. This is a mental disorder. Anyhow, this is not my topic over here. So this was one of the qualities of muttaqi people, that they were only listening to the things which are beneficial for them. And today, inshallah, quality number 6 is that nazalat anfusuhum minhum fil bala'i kallati nazalat fil rakha. That the title that I have given to this phrase is the title of stability. They have stability, their mental stability, whether they are going through any examination or trial, or whether they are having too many of bounties. So it doesn't matter, Allah has given them the ni'mat, the mercies, the bounties, or Allah has given them the trials and examinations and all. They are stable people. They are not very wonderful, very good, very thankful people, showing their gratitude when the bounties are there. But all of a sudden, the moment Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala start the trials and examination tests, they are becoming people who are not grateful, who are starting to complain to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So that is why many a times we discuss about the trials and these disasters and atrocities. So today I just wanted to have this discussion from another perspective. Inshallah, I'll be presenting that. So when we are referring to the verses of Quran, we see that in many examples, in many verses of Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala explicitly said that you are not going to get rid of the trials, because this dunya, this life of yours in this world, is a platform, it's a field for your examinations. If the exam and trials were not there, Allah would never create this world. Allah would have sent you directly to either Jahannam or Jannah. Then you would have asked that why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala didn't ask me for any trial and examinations. So basically Allah has sent you over here, Allah has created you in this dunya to test you. And that is why we see in Quran, أَحَسِبَ النَّاسُ أَن يُتْرَكُوا أَن يَقُولُوا آمَنَّا وَهُمْ لَا يُفْتَنُونَ. Do men think that they will be left alone on saying we believe, just to say we believe, and they will not be tested? It's not true. They will be tested. They will be examined. You know, if, let's say any of the people, if they claim that we are, if Molu comes to me and claims that I'm a very strong person, I can lift. So let's say if he's not claiming anything, then I wouldn't ask him for anything. But if he comes and says, I can lift 100 kilo. If Shabbir Bhai comes to me and says, Maulana, you know, I can hit a goal from 100 meter of distance, which even Ronaldo or Messi cannot do. So I would be saying, Shabbir Bhai, if you can do this, let's have a test and examinations over there. So the moment you claim, there is an examination afterwards. The moment we want to see whether Molu is capable of lifting 100 kg in gym, you go to gym. Maybe you can join. The moment you claim that you can lift 100 kg of the weight, I would be saying you have to give exam. You have to go through the trial. And this is the reality. In order to understand whether you are capable enough or not, we have to organize a trial and exam. Otherwise, we will not be able to see whether you are capable enough or not. So that is why two major benefits of trials and examinations are, number one, you will get to know the reality of the peoples and things. If you think that you are living with your friends, The moment a trial comes, you will see who are the real friends. Who are the real people who are going to help you in difficulties. The moment a trial comes, you will see how much strong you are. I was thinking, many a times this lift stops working. So many of the people get stuck inside the lift. So I was thinking, this is not a big deal. Like people are there and the light turns on the moment the lift stops here. And it's like 1 or 2 minutes and people are walking around, etc. And you are listening to the people. And why you are getting worried when the lift is being stopped? I was explaining to my son. Next day I went for a work to this building of Ministry of County, I don't know what it is, near the hospital. And I was inside lift and we pressed for 3rd floor and lift all of a sudden stopped working. And the light was working and we were hearing all the standards that I was explaining to my son were there. But I got panicked. I started sweating. Then I realized only explaining by the tongue and by your speech that this is nothing, etc. Unless you are not going yourself through the examinations, you will never understand what is happening there. So the moment I was there, I understood how capable I am. Unless you are not going through the exam, you will not understand how strong you are. So that is why one of the most important benefit of examinations and trials is that you will understand yourself, you will get to know who are your friends, and you will get to know the sincerity of the people who are around you. And number 2, the most important benefit of the trials, that you will cut off from any other person, creature, being in this world, and you will be linked to your Lord, to your Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this has been mentioned in Quran many times. The moment you go through a very serious trial, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sometimes, in order to make the servant get connected to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, sends the trial and examines the servant just to see whether he is going to get connected to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala or not. And this is a big outcome of the exam. Because sometimes we are too much busy in our lives, and all of a sudden the moment there is a break, there is a problem that cannot be resolved by normal means and normal ways, that is the moment you are coming back to the connection towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this is the benefit of examination and trial. Now, coming to this question that, Maulana, why the trials and examinations always happen to us as Muslims and mu'mineen? Why the people who are non-believers, they are not facing any examinations? So today I wanted to focus on this point that this is not true. Even non-believers, and both of the examinations, whether it is man-made disaster or whether it is a natural disaster, they are facing them. You just go and Google some of the stats regarding the natural disasters which are happening and which have happened in 2023, let's say, and happening right now in 2024. So that is why I just compiled a number of stats over here. For example, Japan. Japan is a center for earthquakes. Is Japan a Muslim country? Japanese, majority of them are non-Muslims, but they are facing earthquakes. So if this notion is true that only Muslims, only mu'mineen are facing the trials, this is not true, because those people are also facing the trials. Ammar, can you please put the file over there on the screen? For example, in United States, go to the next slide please. So these are some of the examples where we see that natural disasters have happened, even I cannot read from here, have happened in many other countries where the Muslims are not there, nowhere. For example, here you can see the drafts happening. Which country is it? Maybe you sitting over there can read, because I cannot read from over here. So let me refer to my files from over here. Please recite a salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So for example, one of the stats that I'm having over here is in the United States, the wildfire, the fire which is happening in the forests, they have given the stats that from January 1st, something around 14,821 wildfires have burnt, around 1,08,92,727 acres across the United States. 1 million acres burnt in the wildfire. So see, those people are not Muslims. Some of them are, but the majority are not. Why they are facing these trials and examinations? Then the China. In China, because of the rainfall, 16 cities and provinces in northeast China from July 2023, they have seen many disasters in China. I've complete list over there. So these are some of the examples. I'm just going to go one by one. Please come to the slide number 2. So slide number 2 was about Spain because of the slide number 2, please. Slide number 2, the very first one, yeah. So because of the drafts, we've seen that many people have died over there, which is happening in Spain. Again, it's not a Muslim country. The next one was in California, where because of the rainfall, you can see what is happening to their grounds and soils. Number 3, where you can see there is a man. This one, this has happened in China, Beijing, in China, where you can see because of the earthquakes, this has happened to them as well. Number 4 is the United States, where you can see the wildfires are there. Number 5, you can see it has happened in Greece, where because of the floods, thousands of the animals died. Number 5 is again the floods happened in Kenya in 2023 and onwards. Number 6, where you can see the elephant is there. Approximately 100 elephants have died in this draft which has happened over there in Zimbabwe. And last picture that you can see, it's a result of earthquake which has led to these camps over there in China. These are some examples, brothers. These are some of the examples where you can see the examination and the trial has happened for the people who are not Muslim. So don't say, especially for the youngsters, I'm explaining this. Some of the times people are misleading you and misguiding you. That why always it is Muslims who are facing the examinations? Are these people Muslim? No, these are non-Muslims. So don't differentiate for the natural disasters that is only happening for the Muslim people. It is happening everywhere. Earthquakes have happened in Turkey, have happened in Libya, have happened in Iran, have happened in many other places, like what happened for China and Japan as well. The floods have happened for many countries, Muslim, non-Muslim alike. And now coming to the man-made disasters. These are also happening for every country. For example, when there is a war between Russia and Ukraine, these two countries are Muslim countries? No. Many people are dying over there as well. Many people are being oppressed over there as well. So these are the trials and examinations are there for every person, Muslim, non-Muslim alike. But when it comes to Muslims, I believe the examination should be more difficult. Because Muslims are the ones who are claiming to be more responsible, more strong, more deserving to the paradise which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created for good people. So when you are claiming to be more deserving, more strong, then you have to give more exam. The way I said, the way example of Shabbir, example of Molu, since they are claiming to be more deserving for a bounty outcome, that is why they have to give a strong and tough examination and trial. And this is the reality of the world. So we can't go away from the examinations, but the response to the examination and the trial of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is something which defines our real value. Exams are there, trials are there everywhere, but the response that you can show to the trials, this is something which gives us the real picture of yourself, or people around you, or this world. This is what Imam Ali alayhi salatu wa salam, Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammadin wa ajil, says over here that the pious people, muttaqi people, are not the ones who are not facing the trials. If you can name one, the most muttaqi people would be Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. Who faced the most of the trials and all. If you can name a group of the people, you would say Anbiya were the most pious people. You see Anbiya face the most toughest trials in their lives. So that is why muttaqi are not the ones who are not facing the trials. They are facing, they have to face. If they are coming to this world, they have to face the trials. But the response that they are giving to the trials is important. If you are in your trials and in your good times, you are alike, you are stable, you have the stability, then you are a muttaqi person. Otherwise, if you are losing your strength, if you are losing and you are becoming angry, you are complaining, you can't control yourself, you can't control your life, all of a sudden you just want to omit the problem. Sometimes we are having this option. We don't want to solve the problem, we want to omit the problem. We want to delete the problem. This is not the way. If you are facing the problem, the trial, and want to resolve the problem, then you are a muttaqi person. May Allah give us tawfiq to face the trials and examinations, and then to resolve the problems and to respond to the trials the way Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants from us. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Inna a'atainaka al-kawthar fasalli li rabbika wanhar inna shani'aka huwa al-abtar. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وبه نستعين إنه خير ناصر ومعين وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh again. So the muttaqi people are the ones who are responding to the trials in a good manner, and they are not losing their calmness, they are not losing their strength, they are not losing their iman. You remember the ayah where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, أَفَإِن مَّاتَ أَوْ قُتِلَ إِنْقَلَبْتُمْ عَلَىٰ أَعْقَابِكُمْ. When there was a rumor that the Holy Prophet was assassinated, and some of the people, they lost their iman even at that time. They went back. If the Nabi is not there, we are not there as well. Then Allah sent down the ayah that yes, Nabi is the wasila, Nabi is the mediator between us and you. But that doesn't mean that the moment the person is not there, you have to lose your life, you lose your iman. We've seen many groups of the people, many nations, many countries. But very few people, very few groups and very few countries are there who are having such attributes. Where we've seen that a group of people were supporting oppressed people. Only one group of the people. They were holding the flag of justice, holding the flag of supporting the Maghloomin, the oppressed people. And at this moment, maybe somebody would ask, "Oh Allah, what is this time to give us this trial if it was a natural disaster? What is this time where you are doing this trial and examining us by taking many big names and many big strength from us, when there is only one group who's supporting the Mazlumeen? Of that group, you are taking their strength? Oh Allah, what is this?" Maybe somebody will say this, "Allah, it's not fair." Somebody would say this. But a people who are having strong iman, they would come back before even confirming whether the people are there or not. They would say, "We will continue strongly." This is called iman. We will continue strongly whether the people are there or not, whether our strength there or not. So muttaqi are the people being trialed, being examined, or not being examined, they are alike. Have you feel any difference in the people who are supporting the Mazloomin? No. Whereas if it was any other country who are sleeping from the 52 countries, if they lose even the people who are only having their names, there would be disaster, a chaotic situation. But here you see, people are united. So these are the manifestations of iman. May Allah give us tawfiq to become like these people, whose iman are strong enough not to lose their calmness even when they are losing people, strong people from amongst them. May Allah give us tawfiq to face the trials. May Allah give us tawfiq to walk on the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala even after the trials. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Qul huwa Allahu ahad, Allahu samad, lam yalid wa lam yulad wa lam yakul lahu kufuwan ahad. اللهم صل على سيدنا ونبينا وشفيع مذنبين محمد وصل على وليه ووصيه علي بن أبي طالب وعلى سيدة نساء العالمين فاطمة الزهراء وعلى سبطي نبي الرحمة الحسن والحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين ومحمد بن علي وجعفر بن محمد وموسى بن جعفر وعلي بن موسى ومحمد بن علي وعلي بن محمد والحسن بن علي. اللهم صل على الحجة الثاني عشر بقية الله المنتظر مولانا صاحب الزمان. اللهم اغفر للمؤمنين والمؤمنات والمسلمين والمسلمات الأحياء منهم والأموات. تابع اللهم بيننا وبينهم بالخيرات إنك مجيب الدعوات إنك غافر الذنب والخطيئات إنك على كل شيء قدير.